Hey guys, I'm Zed.
And I'm Z.
So normally we film this video a couple days before the pre-release. Technical issues. We're filming this the day after pre-release.
Yeah, but we still haven't cracked any packs yet. We actually have sealed pre-release kits. Mine are in the bag back there. He's got his on his desk right now that he is itching to get into at some point.
Oh yes.
But we still wanted to bring you the cards we're excited for in Streets of New Capenna. It's a pretty interesting set overall.
Yeah, I would say it's interesting. I have to say, I wasn't too excited about all the cards in this one, just because of my playstyle. Now, I'm not saying any card is bad. I'm just saying my personal playstyle, there wasn't a lot of cards that I was too excited about.
Yeah, for me, I had a couple of things I was just a little bit too hopeful for out of this set, and I didn't quite get them. I did get close in some aspects, but close just wasn't enough for me to be like, this is the top tier, this is the elite, this is what I was hoping for. So instead, I kind of settled on like, okay, this is a pretty decent set. It's pretty fun, but it's not where I wanted it to be.
And now, I will also say, there are some cards that I did not include on my list that I did like the concept or the story behind the card.
And my list of cards I'm really looking forward to out of the set is more than what I give you. Obviously, I don't want to barrage you with just a bunch of, here's 25 cards that are just commons and uncommons that I'm really excited for to put into various decks. Instead, I try to focus on the big hitters. So that's why normally I give you 5 and I give you 2 to 3 honorable mentions.
Yeah. I try to give you a couple rares, uncommons, maybe even a common or two. Rare, uncommon, and commons. I try to mix it up a little bit. But we're going to jump right into this with my first one. Citizen's Crowbar. 1 white, 1 colorless, artifact equipment. Go figure, I would have artifact equipment. When Citizen Crowbar enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 green-white citizen creature token. Then attach Citizen Crowbar to it. So you get a creature out of it, and it automatically attaches. Yep. Not bad. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 and has pay 1 white, tap, sacrifice Citizen Crowbar, destroy target artifact or enchantment. And it has equip cost of 2. So it creates a creature, it powers the creature up, and I have the ability to tap it, sacrifice it, and destroy an artifact or equipment. Not bad.
It's an aggressive disenchant. I really like it as a card. It's a way to kind of, if you're playing aggro, it's a way to just kind of naturally put a disenchant in your deck that doesn't feel like it's forced.
Yeah, and, I mean, in early game, you get a creature, you get it powered up, and a lot of times people will forget about the destroyed stuff, and it's hard to counter something, it's hard to counter an ability. What?
Nothing.
I can see you there. It's harder to counter an ability than it is to when it's being cast. So that's why I like this one.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think it's a really good card overall. So my next card is going to, or my first card, I should say, is going to be also the Buy a Box promo from the set.
Oh.
That's going to be, yeah, Jaxus the Troublemaker. Now, we don't have the card on screen, so I've got a handy-dandy little smart device. That's where the glare was from. And I'm going to read it off to you. It's a 4-mana human warrior for 2/3. Red tap, discard a card. Create a token that's a copy of another target creature you control. That copy gains haste, and when this creature dies, draw a card. Sacrifice at the beginning of the next end step. Activate only as a sorcery. And this is one of those cards with Blitz. So basically, it's a pseudo Kiki-Jiki style of effect where you get to make a copy of a creature that's already in play for you. And I really like it as a fun commander-like card because Kiki-Jiki's not cheap, in case y'all didn't know. Even the enchantment that becomes a pseudo Kiki-Jiki from Kamigawa, that's starting to rise in price a little bit at the time we're recording this. It's about $5.
So buy it if you want one. Buy it now before.
I don't know that it's going to stay that price. It's seeing some play in some of the various constructed formats, but from my end, I like it as like a utility tool in the toolbox, especially when it's like, hey, double up on an ETB trigger, or hey, go ahead and get extra copies of this really good aggressive attacker or blocker, or hey, get another death trigger. So for me, I really like this effect. It gives me a lot of extra versatility or value, and so
Gives you another toy in the toy box.
pretty much. It allows me to be more of a value gremlin than I already am, and I don't need any encouragement for that. I will take it every day of the week.
Okay. I don't think I looked that one up too much. But my next one is Duper Shieldmate?
Dapper.
Dapper Shieldmate. 3 colors, 1 white. Human soldier. Dapper Shieldmate enters the battlefield with a shield counter on it. If it would... Okay.
As long as it's your turn, Dapper Shieldmate gets +2/+0. Sorry, I have the boom mic in the way, so I can't actually read these cards. So that's why he's trying to get through.
Shield counter is if it would die.
If it would dealt damage or destroyed, you can remove the shield counter first. So if something happens and I deal 1 point of damage to it, I remove the shield counter. I don't actually deal the damage to the creature.
Yeah.
If I deal 1 after the shield counter's gone, then that's 1 damage as per normal. So it's a way to kind of give you a pseudo regenerate or indestructible for a short period of time. Although effects that prevent damage, like if it says damage can't be prevented, they cannot prevent the damage from the shield counter, but it does still remove the shield counter. Notable things to know, and I know Wizards has put out a lot of the documentation going over the rules, updates, and changes and how they work with these abilities.
Which, I mean, it has a protection, so it's kind of nice, especially when people like to destroy your stuff.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm sweet and innocent.
So, and it's a common. So you're going to see this in a lot of play at the beginning, and then maybe die out. But it was a cool card, and I kind of like the picture.
Yeah, it's a very nice picture, very dapper young gentleman.
I do have to say I do like some of the art in this one. I do not like the basic lands in this one. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm not super into the Art Deco style, but it's one of those. I get it with the 1920s motif that kind of feels like the stats running around with. I can't be too mad. But my next one at number 4 is going to be the Park Heights Pegasus. It is a green and a white for a 2/1 Pegasus creature. It's Flying Trampler, so that's pretty fun right there. But whenever it deals combat damage to a player, if you have 2 or more creatures enter the battlefield under your control this turn, you get to draw a card. So one of the notable fun things of that is if you have token enablers, such as a doubler in play and something that's going to put a token in play every upkeep, you automatically have your 2 creatures enter the battlefield. All you have to do is say, hey, hit you with the Pegasus, which has flying and trample, so it's pretty easy to do that with.
Ooh. Flying and trample now?
Yeah, so please draw me cards. Please draw me all the cards.
Whoa.
And it's a Pegasus, so that's pretty cool too, right, guys?
That's actually pretty cool. I like that. I don't think I saw that one when I was flipping through.
Yeah, and it's just a rare in the set, so it's not going to be that hard to come by, but it's pretty nice. I can get down with it.
All right, so my next one. Devilish Vault.
Valet.
2 colors, 1 red. Devil Warrior. It's a rare. It has trample and haste. I am like working off 2 hours of sleep. Sorry. When another creature enters the battlefield under your control, double Devilish Valet's power until the end of the turn. It's a 1/3. I mean, you're going to be summoning creatures. Like with the Pegasus, you keep getting creatures out, so this thing's power is now doubled.
Can I mention I really like the Alliance keyword? Even if it's just whenever another creature enters the battlefield. First of all, it's an enter the battlefield trigger. My favorite thing in the world when it comes to the game of Magic.
Trigger.
Hey, don't be mad. You're not on the receiving end of this one.
No.
But it goes from 1 to 2 to 4 to 8. So, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So wait. It's not once. Oh.
It doesn't say once per turn.
I didn't even catch that.
Alliance is pretty good. And this is one of the ones they didn't put in that floodgate. Some of them they did. They like pick only one of these or pick only one that hasn't been selected. This one doesn't have that floodgate built in. This one is just no holds bar. Go off as much as you can.
So, I liked the card before I knew its total effect. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm a pretty big fan of this guy, by the way.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so kind of going from another red card to this red card, and it feels like red just was really good this set. That's really what it seems like. We have Professional Facebreaker.
Oh.
It's 2 and a red for a 2/3 human warrior with menace. Whenever one or more creatures you control deals combat damage to a player, you get to create a treasure token. Okay, fun. Give me more mana to do more thing. Sacrifice a treasure. Exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. So it's also an impulse draw. Yes, I will take all the free things I love in Commander. Extra mana, extra card draw, all the things. Yes!
Yeah. Like I said, there's some really good cards in this. Just some of them I didn't. You are your cards, man. No.
I love it.
Undercover operative?
Yeah.
2 colors, 2 blue, shapeshifter rogue, and it's a rare. You may have undercover operative enter the battlefield as a copy of any creature on the battlefield, or as a good ability, except
it enters with a shield counter if you control that creature. So basically, if it comes in as a copy of something you own, it gets a shield counter. If it comes in as an opponent's thing, you don't get the shield counter.
But I mean, you get to copy a card on your side, and this thing has a shield counter.
Or you get to take one of your or get a copy of your opponent's best thing.
Yeah, always awesome. Now, the card is a 0/0, so you're going to want to shapeshift to get the power and stuff up.
Yeah, it's just a normal clone. The clone gimmick for this one is shield counter if you get your own thing. That's really the thing to look at with these type of cards is it a clone? Okay, cool. What is the thing that makes this clone unique?
And to be honest, guys, the reason I like the shield counter is you're going to have to expend 2 ways of destroying my creature instead of just one. Mm-hmm. And that I kind of like because then it gives me a little extra cover or time to get something rolling.
Yeah. Moving into my number 2 here.
Yeah, number 2.
We've got the Bootlegger Stash. This is the artifact land, or the artifact here in the set. 5 and a green, so it's a green artifact as well, which is a little bit unique. But basically it says, lands you control can tap, and rather than producing a mana that they normally produce, they can also generate you a treasure token. And,
treasure!
In case you've been living under a rock for the last few years, cards that give you a bunch of treasure tokens generally are pretty good. See Smothering Tithe, see, Old Gnawbones, see some of these cards. Now, for what it's worth, do I think it's the most busted, over-the-top card in the set? Probably not. I don't think it is. But I think it's another fun, redundant way to use your mana in a game that allows you to store it for later turns.
Oh, yeah. We talked about this. Yeah.
So basically, rather than having to use the mana now and have it empty at the end of the at the end of the phase, it allows you to kind of sit on that and hold it for a little bit longer.
Yeah, I do remember talking about this one. It was a really good card too.
Yep.
All right, so we're going to go into our honorable mentions before we mention our top number ones. My first one is
Boon of Safety.
1 colorist, put a shield counter on target creature. It's an instant, and I get to scry 1.
Yeah, so for 1 white mana, you get a shield counter, which is going to help keep your creature alive, and you get to scry, which is kind of like, a third of a card draw, basically?
Which, I mean, yeah, it's a common. I'll throw this in my deck, and I get a shield counter, I get a scry for 1 mana.
Feather would like to know your location. But, yeah, if we're going on to me here, my first honorable mention is going to be Agnes the Dragon's Lash. So it's 1 mana, a red, a hybrid Gruul, and then a hybrid Rakdos for a 3/3 with haste via Shadow Warrior legendary creature out of the set. It itself has haste, and it says whenever you attack with a creature you control with haste attacks, you get to create a tapped treasure token. Basically, hey, this is a haste tribal guy that gives you treasure for being hasty. I love it.
Yeah, I like that.
Because it screams, build something really over the top with aggression, like a really fun Jund aggro deck that's all about getting like this, a bunch of hasty boys, treasures, and go to town.
Nice. Alright, so my number 2 for my honorable mention is Halo Fountain. And I'm looking at it and I'm wondering why I put it in an honorable mention. It's a mythic. Normally I don't put mythics in honorable mentions, but I did. 2 colors, 1 white. Artifact. Okay, hold on. So you can pay 1, tap it, untap target creature you control, create a 1/1 green and white citizen creature token. Cool. Or I can pay 2 white, untap, two tap creatures. Draw a card. Or I can pay 5 white, tap, untap 15 tapped creatures you control, you win the game.
So, realistically, most of the time, if you have that many tapped creatures, you're probably winning in combat anyway. However, there are certain instances where there are ways or reasons you would have things tapped down. For example, vehicles. This might be a fun card in a vehicles deck, just as a kind of FYI for anyone who's thought about it. As like okay, cool, the ground's clogged up, all my stuff is tapped, I might as well just untap it real quick and win the game.
And I mean, the first effect, you're creating creatures, so theoretically 15 turns in, if none of your creatures got destroyed and this didn't get destroyed, you got the 15. I mean, and there's other cards to making that all different. I like it for the win condition at the bottom. It just seems like a fun little card to play once in a while.
I think the main reason you're going to run it is it's a token maker that can draw you a couple of cards, and in a very, very niche set of circumstances, might win you the game. One thing, though, to keep in mind with this, you want to be the player with an Avenger of Zendikar when your opponent has like a Blind Obedience or something with this, because basically Avenger come into play, enters battlefield tapped. So do all the little babies it makes. Now you activate the Hollow Fountain, untap, all those boys untap, you win.
There you go.
There's some fun shenanigans, but it really is kind of dependent on what your opponent's playing, or you having a plan to tap down your own things. And that's the hard part, is finding the way to tap your own stuff down.
And with the number 1 effect, I mean, I attack.
That's reasonable.
And then I can untap, now I got a defender.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So my last honorable mention is going to be Brass Knuckles.
Wait. Number 2, Cycling Twilight.
Oh yeah, never mind. Sorry about that, guys. Skip mine. And I'm kind of taking a cop-out answer here, but it's all 5 of the Tri-lands that cycle, because they're reprints. Or well, let me back step. They're not reprints, but they're finishing out a cycle of lands that already exist in the form of the Triomes from Ikoria. Those lands are already starting to trickle up in price, and let's be frank, as Commander players, we already want to invest in real estate pretty heavily. Most people I know who play Commander are not of the age where having a home is a realistic expectation. We live in apartments and things of that nature. So the only way we can truly invest in real estate is by buying lands. And lands that have basic land types that can be found from the deck, as well as have other utility effects from your hand. Those seem pretty good. Yeah. I think I'm down with that. So,
I mean, I would agree. That's a very honorable mention because they're great cards, and
if you wanted me to be 100% honest, so like pick your top 5 cards you're excited from the set, that's my top 5. But for ease and sake of making an actually interesting video, they get an honorable mention because they're really just a cycle of 5 cards that could really be under one category, and they don't even need to be on your top 5 because they're just kind of ways to play the game.
Yeah, I really do. I want to set... I mean, obviously. My next one is Swooping Protector.
Yep.
3 colors, 1 white, bird citizen. And I'm loving how there's a lot of citizens and they're animals. I love that about this. So this is an uncommon, has flash flying. Swooping Protectors enters the battlefield with a shield counter on it. It's a 2/1. What I love about this guy, and yes, he's my honorable mention, he has flash. So I can pay it, drop it down, protect myself, and he has a built-in protection himself. So he protects me and still gets to stay on the board for a second. And he has flying.
Yeah. And one thing that's really nice to think about, if you're building that Esper Flash deck, or you're building that, whatever Flash deck, because let's be real, blue and black are the predominant colors of Flash, but white is getting a lot of it right now.
White needs some more.
Honestly, I think white should be the second color of Flash. Blue is going to be its first color because of the way they operate, but I think that's perfectly fine. But that being said, this gives you another card for that. It's a really, really fun, sneaky way to get in a blocker in the air and just go, ha-ha! Now, is it the most powerful card in the world? No. But if you're building a Flyers deck, it's got a relevant creature type. In this set, Citizen's actually a thing that some cards care about. So, that's relevant. The fact it comes in with a counter, that's relevant. And then the fact it's a Flash or a Flyer, both of which are relevant for other deck archetypes. So this card can find homes if you wanted to put it in there. It's a matter of what do you want to do. So it's not like it's a card without a home. This card has homes, and it's actually not that bad, all things considered.
Yeah, it has a home. It's called my Boros deck. This actually is one that I chose because of I was going to put in my Boros deck.
Yeah, so
you're
now it's my honorable mention
yes.
one because me trying to skip ahead. That's gonna be Brass Knuckles. So Brass Knuckles is gonna be nothing fancy. So Brass Knuckles is a 4-mana artifact equipment. When it comes into play, or when you cast it, you get to make a copy of it. So it comes into play with 2 copies of Brass Knuckles,
which is already good.
But there's a reason it does this, and it's very flavorful, and I appreciate this. So, equipped creature has double strike as long as it has 2 or more equipment attached to it. So it gives you both equipment you need to give a creature double strike if you wanted to do so. Or if you already had 2 equipment in play, like a Sword of the Animist and, we'll just say a Whisper Silk Cloak. Okay, since you already have 2 equipment in play, you can just equip them to Brass Knuckles to the things, go to town. Now, I get that that's a poor example because of Shroud, but for ease of example, we'll go with that. And so you can give 2 things double strike, 1 thing double strike. It's got a lot of the built-in versatility. On top of that, it's actually pretty cheap to equip with the 1 equip cost. So with that, it's just 4 mana come into play, get 2 of them, and 2 mana to equip up and go for both copies.
I guess I didn't look at that one hard enough because that is actually really nice. I like that.
Yeah, and it's kind of, the effect is very interesting. It's a very creative design space, but it also looks unassuming at first glance because it's 4 mana to cast, because you need to have 2 equipment to put it to get to the double strike. It's not just instant, but it is a 1 equip cost equipment, and it comes into play with 2 effectively a lot of the time. So.
Oh, nice! I really like that. All right, so my number 1. I kind of say, I feel like this one's kind of a cop-out. Just because a lot of people are kind of looking forward to this card. And you guys probably knew it was going to be on the list somewhere. But I actually been looking at this card and figuring stuff out. Which is shocking. Okay, though you're going to have to read the name.
Luxior Giada's Gift.
1 mana to play. Legendary artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each counter on it. Not a specific type of counter, just a counter on it. Equipped permanent isn't a planeswalker and is a creature in addition to its other types. Loyalty abilities can still be active. Equipped planeswalker 1, equipped 3, if it's not a planeswalker.
Yep.
I want this card.
I want this card, but I want it probably for a different reason than you do, Zed.
I'm pretty sure. You go ahead.
Elspeth is one of my favorite planeswalkers.
Ooh.
So I like having the Elspeth-related cards, just like I like having the Sarkhan, the Nissa, the related cards with them, and the Wandering Emperor has become one of my favorites as well. So basically, if I have a planeswalker I really, really like, I like collecting cards around that planeswalker. So for this, God's End, things like that, those cards are really, really sweet to me. But from a power level perspective, this card is also very powerful because of a lot of the interactions you're already seeing around on the internet. Brewers have been tinkering with this card, and I only think they've just gotten to start with it. I don't want to begin to imagine what happens when they get their welding goggles on and, get the chemistry beakers all boiling up over there.
So, should we be watching this card to see in a couple months that it may enter possible ban?
I don't think we're looking at that. I think we're looking at this as a card that brewers who are wanting to do degenerate things will find a way to do degenerate things.
Oh, yeah.
Versus hey, a casual player who is looking to build a fun deck and get cards around it, I think they'll find a use for this card as well. So I think this is going to be one of those cards that's just naturally driven by everybody wanting to play it, mostly for different reasons. Like, for example, I would play it because I would be building around Elspeth. You would be building it because it's an equipment with interesting, connotation.
Oh, yeah.
And then we have a couple of other friends who I'm sure would be playing it for different reasons, like its power level and creativity and combo ability and things like that. So
now, though, I will say, I'm not looking for this card to put in the Boros deck. Because the Boros deck isn't about counters. I want to build a deck kind of around this ability.
So this would make a very interesting upgrade to certain pre-constructed decks. For example, the human deck has a sub-theme around 1/1 counters back in Innistrad.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, if you remember, we did
yes,
the tech
yes,
for it.
yes.
And we saw how fast the counters could get out of control. This is one of those cards that could go in that one, as well as the white, blue, green precon from this set for the brokers. Because, again, it's kind of a counter-related deck. It's like shield counters, things like that. Then in Ikoria, we had the white, black, green deck that was also around keyword counters. So there are various decks out there that are just pre-constructed decks you could go find online, I'm sure, and throw this card in there, and it's just an upgrade. It's an interesting card to kind of make those decks work a little bit better.
And I do have the actual human deck still in box back there.
Yeah.
So, like I said, y'all knew this card was going to be on the list somewhere. Come on. But let's get to yours, because I'm curious what this one does.
Let's be real. I think this is the card that most people who know kind of like what I've mentioned over time on the channel here would know would be on the list. That's Giada, Font of Hope. Yeah, you've got her gift, but you don't have her. And that's where I'm disappointed. It's a 2-mana 2/2 legendary creature angel. Flying Vigilance. Each other angel you control enters the battlefield with an additional 1/1 counter on it for each angel you already control. So if you have 4 or 5 angels in play, comes into play with 4 or 5 1/1 counters. Not only that, tap, add a white mana to your mana pool. Spend this mana only to cast an angel spell. This is a angel commander that cares about your tribe and is cheap enough to play on turn 1 or 2 and helps you cast your other angels. Angel tribal players, rejoice. You have been given another option other than Lyra Dawnbringer. This is one of our very, very few Angel Tribal Matters commanders and cards in the game, really.
Ooh, nice.
That's why I'm so excited for it. That's why I push this card so much, and that's why it's my number 1. Because I love Angel Tribal. The problem is, you haven't had a lot of those good support cards. It's not like dragons. It's not like demons. It's not like
Warriors.
Sphinxes, even sphinxes. They've had probably more support than angels. Angels, you've had a few cards here and there but for the most part, they haven't been well supported. They've just been pretty powerful flyers. This is a card that helps lend them a little bit more credibility on their own.
Yeah, yeah, that. I didn't realize that card was that. Okay.
Yeah, that's for perspective. That's why I'm looking for the copies I'm looking for. I'm looking for one for myself and one for a friend of mine. That way we can try to make sure that, we're helping build. Because for perspective, I have a Angel deck that I'm working on behind the scenes. Maybe that's a deck tech. I don't know yet. I'm not committing to that one. But I also have a friend of mine whose personal deck, they want to be Angel themed. I'm trying to help them with that as well.
And guys, the easiest way to know if we ever do that Angel deck tech is go down below, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and you'll be notified when it goes live.
Yep.
I hate self-plugging like that, but to be honest, guys, you guys don't subscribe sometimes unless we say so. So please do. It helps.
And for what it's worth, one of the big things is we are trying to grow out, reach out, expand a little bit. That's why we're trying to do a little bit of everything different. We want to obviously bring you this breakdown at the beginning of each set. But in order for us to do that, that's taking time, to figure out how we can get together and record. We live across town now. It's not like I can just walk back over to Zed's place like I used to be able to do.
Yeah.
So.
Well, not only that, but finances. Any Magic player can tell you buying cards is expensive sometimes. Yes. Would I be buying Magic cards if I wasn't doing this? Yeah, I probably just want to buy as many. So, we're not asking for money, guys. We just want you guys to watch the videos. Watch the videos, comment. We like talking to you people.
Yeah, let us know what you think. Let us know what you're singing. And that way we can kind of go from there. If there's something that I'm clearly missing in the set, let me know. Because, one, if you let me know, I can go pick it up. And that's doing me a solid, first of all. But at the same time, it means we can have a meaningful discussion. And who knows, maybe that it's the one viral video that we have and it gets to 500-600 people. And we're all having a nice, big, informed discussion in the chat.
Well, also, guys,
or in the comments.
Maybe you guys send us a comment and you tell us about this one card that we totally missed. And we're like, wait a minute, we got to do a video on this. Why did we not do a video? We'll shout you out.
Yeah.
Because you guys told us. And we'll shout you out. We'll make the video. Because we want to make videos for you guys. We want to make videos that you like. But that Angel, I want a copy.
Yeah.
I guess I'm fourth on the list now.
Third or fourth, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know where the Bearded Man fell in that list.
Yeah, I don't think he's interested, to be honest. But
cool. But yeah, guys, those are the cards that we're looking forward to. I actually, at the start of this video, I didn't think there was many cards I wanted, but apparently there are.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, you never know until you start cracking packs and find new stuff. That's kind of what's nice. Even though we have a spoiler season in Magic where they reveal cards slowly, we have these moments where it's like, wait, that's in the set? What? Why didn't I know about this? I want it now. And then we get to see Zed's like, ooh, candy reaction to it. So,
okay, guys, I don't read every card because my reading skills slightly slower. Also, I don't put together the combos until I have the cards in my hand. And then I go, oh, that works with that and that works with... Ooh. And then Z just goes smack. No. No.
I'm not that mean.
No. He doesn't actually smack the cards out of my hand. He just drops a card and goes, no. But as always, guys, stay forever noob. Crack some packs. Have some fun. Stay safe. Peace.
Take care.